Hey everybody, I wanted to show off my AI recipe agent. This is a tool that I've built for myself in N8N. Essentially, I built this agent, so it's an LLM, in this case, ChatGPT 4.0 mini, although I do plan on switching over to a locally hosted LLM. I'm just still testing that. Um, but what I've done is I've given the LLM access to a bunch of different tools. For example, this Brave search tool uses the Brave web search API to search for new recipes. I've built out a custom Instagram reel scraper. I've also built out a custom just recipe URL scraper, and a bunch of different tools for interacting with Notion. And so what is actually going on here? Essentially, I have inside of my Notion a bunch of different recipes um, for different foods that I want to try. I definitely have not cooked all of these recipes, but I want them in here. And so what this is I've hooked up Telegram, just a messaging service, to this automation, and I can send it different things. I can ask it, which recipes do I have for dinner in my database? And it should go through and parse my Notion. It takes a moment, but it'll go through and parse it. And it will tell me which dinner recipes I have. Sweet. So there we go. There's that. Additionally, what I can do is I could send it something like this. This is just a apple pie recipe. And so this actually uses one of the custom tools that I built out. So let me show you what that looks like really quick. So essentially when it decides to use this tool, it passes through either some information or the recipe itself. If it's a URL, I'm tapping it into the back end of this service called just the recipe. So I can send it the URL and I'll get back the recipe. Then I pass this over to Gemini just to parse through that recipe, give it out in a consistent format, and then move on from there. Um, Additionally, and yeah, this can take a moment. Overall, the thing's being a little bit slower than normal today. Sweet. And so it's actually automatically added it to my Notion database. I can click open, and boom, as you can see, that recipe has been scraped and passed over. The other thing that I can do is go to an Instagram reel and pass that over. And what I want to show off here with this Instagram reel is that, oh, actually, this one has its recipe just in the description of the video. When that's the case, it's super easy for it to extract it. My Instagram reel scraper looks like this. And what you'll see is it goes in, downloads the video, and it extracts both the audio and transcribes it, as well as extracts the description from the video, and then it decides what we want to do from there. Um, and so, boom, we've grabbed that. It asks me, do I want to add it to Notion? I'm going to say yes. And again, it will add it to my Notion database so that I can see all of my recipes in one place. Just going to wait for that to load. But yeah, essentially that's the tool. It isn't life changing, but it's a fun use case for working with this system, working with LLMs, finding some ways to use their ability to work with unstructured data and text and things like that. And this is just taking a minute because it's a long recipe with a lot of text. There we go. We can click it, and boom,